So guys, welcome back. So already we have uploaded 4 lectures of revision of strategic management, जो कि completely English में we have done the recording 100% English, so that students who are from anywhere in India can understand, and mostly our paper writing is always in English. So although you understand in English Hindi combo mix, but it's always better to understand more in English so that you can write in English, okay? Because you have to write in English, so make sure you are watching these lectures carefully, because please understand one more time, आपको paper लिखना होता है English में. You have to write paper in English. So more you hear English, more you can write in English. That is my objective behind introducing the concept of SM in English. So guys, let's revise chapter number 4. So already we have uploaded 4 chapters. Now I will be uploading 3 chapters in this this part. So 3 chapters. Let's recall chapter number 3, chapter number 4, and chapter number 5 back to back. We're going to revise chapter number 3, chapter number 4, and chapter number 5. Are you ready, guys? These 3 chapters are having around weightage of around 20 to 22 marks in the examination. So please watch it carefully. You will be getting a lot of knowledge from these lectures. These lectures are very important. And one more time, these lectures are beneficial for everybody who understands Hindi, who do not understand Hindi, because these lectures are completely recorded 100% in English. Okay, so guys, let's recall chapter number 4. So in the entire chapter number 4 is broken down into 4 parts. Number 1, stability, expansion, retrenchment, combination. Stability, expansion, retrenchment, combination. Once again, come on. Stability, expansion, retrenchment, combination. So the entire chapter is broken down into 4 parts. So now let's revise. Let's understand the difference between stability and expansion. What is the difference between stability and expansion? Guys, I would like to ask you some questions like Reliance, expansion, Tata, expansion, Godrej, expansion, TCS, expansion. Because ITC, expansion, all these organizations believes in new products, new branches. They are keep on introducing new products, new branches. They are entering into different businesses. So any business is having a growth attitude is called as an expansion strategy, and the business which do not want to start new business, new branches, they are happy with existing things, they are happy with whatever they have. They are called as status quo approach. Status quo approach is called as what? Stability. Like example, SAL, Steel Authority of India Limited, is using this strategy. This strategy is very uncommon because stability, nobody wants stability, everybody wants more. SPC is also using what? Expansion, because dil mange more. You always feel that you should have something more. Okay, so if you feel that you want to be, you want to grow more, you want to earn really a lot, you want to take risk, you want to invest more, you should go for expansion. Okay, and if you're really happy with whatever you have, you want to manage only existing things, then you should go for stability. So guys, I'll ask you some questions. Tell me, new products, expansion; new branches, expansion; less risky, stability; more risky, expansion. Now tell me where you need to invest more, expansion. Stability and expansion. SAIL, stability. Reliance, expansion. Tell me where you need to redefine your business, expansion. You have to follow status quo, stability. Now tell me guys, where you feel that you are very dynamic, expansion. People do like, which one is more popular, which one is more risky, again expansion. Where you have to invest more, expansion. Which one is more popular, expansion. Stability and growth. There's one more difference between stability and growth is stability and growth. There's one more difference. Here you have to have a lot of resources. It becomes you, unless and until you're having a lot of resources, you can go for what? Expansion. So I hope you're understanding the difference between stability and expansion. So guys, okay, one more difference. Where you find there's a marginal growth, where you find there's a substantial growth. So marginal growth, although it is a substantial, although it is a stability, but does not mean there's no growth. It is just marginal growth, little growth. But when you actually follow the growth and expansion strategy, you will be getting substantial growth. Like example, after introduction of Jio, you must have seen the impact of Reliance Industries Limited. So where you find more growth, where you find substantial growth is what? Expansion. In the examination, they may ask you, stability does not have any growth. It is incorrect. Stability also have growth, but margin, because they are into the same product. So by doing some market penetration, they also can gain more growth. But the growth, if you compare the growth of stability with the growth approach, the stability is having little lesser amount of growth. I hope you're understanding this also. Okay guys, we are moving on the next question. There are 4 different types of growth approaches. There are 4 strategies of growth: intensification, diversification, merger. Once again, intensification, diversification, merger, alliance, intensification, diversification, merger, alliance, intensification, diversification, merger, alliance. Once again, you have to keep, मैं आप जानते हो कि मैं थोड़ा सा जोश में बोलता हूँ, but you have to sing along. This is the way you should remember. Intensification, diversification, merger, alliance, intensification, diversification, merger, alliance. Okay, I hope you remember this. Intensification gets divided into 3 parts: market penetration, market development, and product development. So same product, same market, by making some small change, it's called as market penetration. Like example, let's take an example of this. Market penetration, earlier we used to buy Cadbury individually. Now they have done what? They have changed the packing of Cadbury. They have introduced one product, Cadbury Celebration, and it is the combination of various Cadburys. So those people who are not willing to buy Cadbury, now they are using this for the gift purpose. It's called as what? Market penetration. Number 2 example, Nano. One more example for market penetration, guys, the Coca-Cola. Earlier it was sold in only 500 ml. Now they have introduced 2-liter bottle also. So there are people who were not ready to buy 500 ml. They can buy a 2-liter also. So by making some small changes, you are trying to attract customers. It's called as what? Market penetration. One more example I would like to give you. Nano has not introduced a new car by making some small changes in the interior, by making some small changes in the color of the car. They are trying to attract more customers. Called as what? Market penetration. So what is the meaning of? So for example, I have introduced the color notes in my teaching. So product is same, market is same. By making some small changes, I am trying to attract more customers. I have introduced some colorful charts. I've introduced ES rocks, SM rocks. These are called as what? Market penetration. Okay, what is the meaning of market development? Walmart coming in India, it's a market development. Haldiram is selling product across the world, it's called as a market development. What is the meaning of market development? Where the product is same but the market is new. Example, Apple phone launched in India, it means the product of USA, now sold out in India. It's what? It is not the new product, it is the same product but the new market. Okay, what is the meaning of product development? Come on guys, product development is what? You are having the same market but you are introducing new product in the same market. Example, MI. After every 15-20 days, MI phone is introduced in India. New MI phone is getting introduced. It's called as a new product in the same market. For example, HUL. Again, earlier they had what? Lux Lifebuoy. Now they have introduced Dove. They have introduced Pierce. This is nothing but they have introduced what? New product. So what is the main difference between market penetration and the product development? Market penetration may also you get the new product, but the new product is slightly changed than the earlier one. But in the product development, the product is absolutely changed. Like Lux and the Dove, totally differentiate, absolutely different, distinct from each other. But earlier also it was Nano, now also it is Nano. But by making some small changes in the furniture or by making some small changes in the interior, they are introducing, it is what? Market penetration. So I hope you're understanding the difference between market penetration, the product development. So that's all guys. We are talking about now diversification, vertical, horizontal, conglo, once again, vertical, horizontal, concentric, conglo, once again, vertical, horizontal, conglo. But there's one more difference. You have to be very careful about diversification and this merger. You'll find vertical, horizontal, conglo. There's only one difference: concentric and concentric. So whenever you write, whenever you read, you have to be very careful. There are 4 parts for diversification. Merger also gets divided into 4 parts. 1, 2, 4 will remain same, but point number 3 is a totally different point. The name of point number 3 under diversification is a concentric, and under merger is what? Co-generic. So make sure you remember this: vertical, horizontal, concentric, conglo. It's what? It is what? Diversification. Vertical, horizontal, co-generic, conglo. It is the merger. Okay. Okay, I hope you understand this. Okay, diversification has got vertical. Vertical also has got two parts, backward and forward. Amul Doodh, Amul Milk has started their ATM center for selling the product. It's called as what? Forward. Amul, instead of buying milk from farmers, they are owning their own cows. They are owning their own buffaloes. It's called as what? Backward. So what is the difference between backward and forward? Whenever you're moving towards a distribution, it's called as a forward. Whenever you are moving towards the raw material, it is called as the backward. So see why you are doing that, why you are moving towards. Earlier you were dependent on somebody for distribution, but now you have got your own distribution to reduce your cost. It is called as forward. I hope you understand this. Yeah. And earlier I was dependent on the raw material on somebody else, and it was very costly also. But now what I'm doing, I'm not dependent. I'm having my own cows and buffaloes. I can reduce the cost of raw material. It is called as what? Backward integration. What is the meaning of horizontal? Whenever you acquire your own competitor, is called as a horizontal. Example, Tata Chorus example, Facebook, WhatsApp. Number 3 example, you're acquiring your own competitor. Yani ki example, Sun Pharma and Ranbaxy. So make sure guys you're using all the examples in the examination also, because examples makes the difference. Such examples are not written in the module. If you write these examples, you'll get really better score. A concentric, you're having new product. You're having new product which is having some connection with the existing market, existing technology. It is called as what? Concentric. So I hope you understand guys. What is the meaning of concentric? You're having new product, but new product is having some connection with the existing product, existing market, existing technology, existing processes. Okay, example, suppose I was into the factory, I was into the manufacturing of sugar, but along with the sugar I started manufacturing paper, I started manufacturing liquor also. It means the new product is there, but new product is having some connection with the existing market and existing processes, because 80% of the process was done for the sugar. 10% you have added more, you're getting paper. 10% you added more, you're getting liquor also. It means the new product is not absolutely distinct, it is having some connection to the existing process. It's called as what? Concentrating. You're concentrating on sugar cane. You're getting sugar, you're getting paper, you're getting liquor. I hope you're getting this. Yeah. Okay, there's one more example for this. Milk. Milk factory started. Earlier it used to sell only milk. Now they are, along with the milk, they are selling butter, they are selling cheese. They are making ice cream, they are making paneer also. It means you are doing a concentration on particular product. The new product is not absolutely distinct from the existing one. New product is a little change from the existing one. Little change means the new product is having some connection with the existing process. Ultimately butter, paneer, milk, ice cream, gulab jamun, you are getting all the product from the milk itself. So I was earlier only in milk, now I'm having all these products also. It is what? Again, concentric diversification. One more example, one more concept, conglomerate. Conglomerate means you are having a new product which is not having any connection with the existing, which is absolutely distinct from the existing one. The new product is not having any connection with the existing one. Example, Godrej was started, it's a business only from the locks, lock, safe, lock. But now along with that they have introduced so many things. They are so diversified. Now they have introduced their eggs also, they have introduced what? Pharma also, they have introduced what? FMCG also. So now they understand the new product. For example, Godrej lock has introduced Godrej eggs. The egg is not having any connection with the lock. It means what? The new product is a completely disjoint from the existing, which is called as what? Conglomerate. Like the same example we can take for ITC. ITC was already only into what? Sutta. Now along with that Sutta, they have introduced what? They have introduced FMCG. ITC has introduced Ashirwad Atta. Earlier it was Sutta, now it is Atta. So guys, the new product is a completely disjoint from the existing one. I hope you're understanding. Everybody, are you there? Everyone, are you there? Are you ready guys? Come on. I'm moving on the next concept, merger. So now merger mein again there are 4 points: vertical, horizontal, conglo. Everybody now, vertical again divided into 2 parts, backward and forward, forward. Now it's time to talk about a merger. It is not a diversification, it is a merger. So what is the meaning of backward merger? Backward merger means you are doing the merger with a person providing you the raw material. Example, example, very simple example. You must have heard about. Number one, you must have heard about. You know Pixar, you know Disney. Disney is the brand of telecasting, and Pixar used to provide cartoons. Okay, it was into animation. So earlier, what was the thing? Pixar used to provide raw material to Disney. Now they are having merger with what? The Pixar, the merger of Pixar and Disney is nothing but backward and forward both. You think from the angle of Pixar, when the Pixar is getting merged with Disney, it means Pixar is getting merged with the person who is into distribution. It means it is a forward. But think from the angle of Disney. Disney is not getting merged with the concept of distribution. Disney is getting merged with the person who is becoming the raw material supplier. It means from the angle of Disney, it is becoming what? The backward merger. I hope you are understanding. Vertical, backward and forward is over. Now it's time to talk about horizontal, guys. Come on. Horizontal merger. You are getting merged with your own competitor like Maruti Suzuki. Maruti is also car manufacturer. Suzuki is also car. They both getting merged. One more point, guys. Come on. Maruti Suzuki. One more example. Like Vodafone Idea, again was the example of horizontal merger. Co-generic, you are co-generate, you both of you coming together and generating business for each other. For example, very simple example, my friend started CA coaching, my friend started CA practice, I also started CA practice, he is into the practice of direct tax, I am into the practice of audit. Earlier we were having separate practices, now we both came together, we merged our firm. Now whenever I am getting client for audit, I refer that client to my friend who is into the DT and vice versa. He is into DT. If he gets client, he will say that he should do DT with him, but for audit, I will be doing. And the same thing, if I am getting client, I will refer that client to him for direct taxation. It means he is giving client to me, his DT client is becoming client for me for audit and vice versa. It means it is called, we are generating business for each other. It is called as what? Co-generic merger. I hope you are understanding co-generic. Yeah. Okay. Next, what is the conglomerate? Conglomerate again merger, guys. Merger. But what is the meaning of conglomerate? Conglomerate means you are getting merged with the company not having any connection with the existing one. For example, Tata Sky. Tata is never into the business of DTH. Tata was never into the business of DTH. Now Sky is a different company. Tata is a different company. They both are getting merged. From the Tata's angle, it is the merger of what? Conglomerate. It means what? Tata is getting merged with the company not having any connection. Now the last question, guys, alliances. What is the difference between alliance and the merger? Merger means what? Shadi. Merger means marriage. Alliance means boyfriend, girlfriend. Please understand one thing. Alliance can be broken anytime, but the shadi, the marriage cannot be broken. Means what? The merger cannot be broken anytime. There's a legal procedure to be followed for getting merged. You know that you must have heard about section number 232 and 230. These sections as per the Companies Act 2013 are required to be done when you do the what? When you do the merger. In India, for example, you're doing any merger in India, for example, Idea Vodafone is required to follow the compliances of the NCLT and Companies Act to perform the function of the merger. But to getting alliance with anyone, you don't have to follow particular procedure. It is not that compliant enough. Okay, example, Coca-Cola is sold out in the shop, in the restaurant of McDonald's. So there is an alliance between the McDonald's and the Coca-Cola, where Coca-Cola is giving commission to McDonald's. There is an alliance. Earlier must have seen the alliance between the Tata and Fiat. Tata used to sell the car of Fiat, where Tata used to get some commission on the Fiat cars. Number 3 example, I'm having, you know, the Etihad. Etihad is the airline, and the Jet Airways also airline. Jet Airways was not having any international background. So for international customer, Jet Airways was having an association with Etihad. So you know, this is called as what? An alliance. Alliance is Alliance means what? You are just helping each other. It is not a merger, okay? When there is a merger, you write like Maruti Suzuki. The name is, they have to write the name together. Idea, Vodafone, they have to use. The name is also getting changed. But have you ever seen any name on the board of McDonald's, Coca-Cola? You will not find such names. It is just an association. It's just what they are helping each other to grow more. Okay, I hope you understand the alliance also. Now let's understand, guys. We are done. More than 50% chapter is over, stability is over, expansion is over. Now it's time to talk about the retrenchment. Retrenchment is broken down into three parts: turnaround, divestment, and liquidation. Whenever you find the negative symptoms, you have to go for, you do not close down, you do not go for liquidation. Whenever you find some negative symptoms, negative signs like less cash flow, negative cash flow, mismanagement, fraud, decreased market share, less demand for your product, the demand of the competitors are increasing, their profitability is increasing, their market share is increasing, our market share is getting down. So under such scenario, our top management has committed some fraud, there's a mismanagement, customers are not happy. Whenever you see any of such, whenever you see any of such negative symptoms in the organization, you do not close down your organization directly. You do not, because you have developed your organization since long. On the basis of these symptoms, you do not take the decision of what liquidation. You first of all go for what turnaround. What is the meaning of turnaround? You are having the say turnaround means what? You are trying to change something. You are trying to change some policies. You are trying to change some internal strategies. You are trying to come back. Example, I'll tell you. Turnaround means what? You're doing some small changes and you're trying to come back. So example, Royal Enfield also failed in 2005-6. Royal Enfield used to face this problem. Royal Enfield was, was suffering from low sales, was not making much profit. So they have done turnaround. They have changed the shape of the bike. They have introduced new bikes. They have changed designs of the bike. They have introduced new way of marketing. So by doing this, they could come back, and now you must have seen the Eicher, the parent company of Royal Enfield, is having the highest share price among all the shares of India. So the turnaround means what? You are having, you face some negative symptoms, but you do not take the decision of liquidation. You do not close down. You just try to make some changes and you try to come back. That is called as turnaround. I hope you understand, guys. Yeah, that is turnaround. Turnaround. If after doing turnaround also, if you do not come back, you go for divestment. What is the meaning of divestment? Divestment means in divestment you close down some branches of the organization. You close down some loss-making center of the organization. Like these days, Big Bazaar is doing the same, doing divestment. After doing turnaround also, if you're not able to come back, you go for divestment. What is the meaning of divestment and what is the meaning of liquidation? In the liquidation, you completely close down the entire organization. But as long as the Big Bazaar is concerned, it is not completely shut, it is not completely closed down. They have just reduced some of the branches of the organization. Like these days, you must have seen a lot of branches are closed. So that is the second measure. The first measure is what? After seeing the negative symptoms, you go for turnaround. You make small changes. You make some internal changes in the organization. You may hire the new top level. You make changes in the roles and responsibility. You may introduce new products. You may make changes in the design. You make changes some strategies. After that also, if you are not able to come back, you go for divestment. It means you are making, you are shutting down some portion of the organization. And after that also, if you are not able to recover back, there is only one option left. It is called as last resort. It is called as liquidation. Completely closed. Organization will be completely closed. Example, Subiksha has done it, completely closed. Example, Kingfisher, liquidation. Liquidation is the last resort. Organization is completely closed. But it is the last resort, which is not very famous. And the combination strategy is combination is what? Whenever you select, whenever organization is having multiple products, they may use a different strategies for the different product. Such organization is called as what? Combination strategy. Obviously, this strategy is not useful if the organization is having only one product. Organization is having different products. Example, L&T was into the telecom sector, was into infrastructure sector. They have reduced their telecom. They have done the retrenchment of the telecom sector, and whatever they have whatever funds they have generated after selling telecom, they have introduced into the infrastructure business, and you must have seen the business of L&T now. So L&T is using two strategies together, expansion also and retrenchment also. So organization is having multiple products. For some products they are using stability, for some products they are using expansion, for some they are using what? Retrenchment. Such kind of organization is called as what? Combination. I hope you're understanding this also. For example, in the classroom also I've taken, example, suppose one company is having the diaper, also paper, weight tissues also, and they are having other business like, this, what do you call it? Weight tissues, diaper business, and they are having the business of hand wash. Okay. So what they have done for these three products, they have understood there is a huge demand for weight tissues. They have introduced a lot of weight tissues in the market. So that is called as expansion. For diaper, they have not done anything. It was status quo. It is called as stability. And for hand wash, they have understood there is no demand for the hand wash. So they have reduced the supply of the hand wash. And after some point of time, they will they will stop making hand wash. It is called as what? The retrenchment. So it means the organization is having multiple products, and for every multiple products, organization is having what? Different strategy. It is called as combination. So guys, I hope you understood this chapter, and if you like it, please do not forget to comment, and do not forget to like this lecture. If you like this lecture, it is my motivation, and also make sure you also talk about my lectures with your friends, so that even they would be beneficial. They will be benefited. So also share this video with your friends through WhatsApp, through Telegram groups, so everyone should be benefited. So guys, once again, let's revise. There are four strategies: stability, expansion, retrenchment, and combination. Stability doesn't have any baby. Expansion is broken down into four parts: intensification, diversification, merger, alliance, merger, alliance. Intensification, three parts: market penetration, market development, product development. And about diversification: vertical, horizontal, concentric, conglo, and about merger: vertical, horizontal, cogeneric, conglo, and alliance we have seen. And then retrenchment is again divided into three parts. First you go for turnaround, again you are not satisfied, again you are not getting good results, you go for divestment, and still you are not able to recover back, you go for liquidation. So I hope you understood, guys. The entire chapter is over. Take care, guys. Bye, take care. And now we're moving on the next chapter. Take care. Yeah, was this lecture? Hello friends, welcome back. So guys, we are moving on chapter number 5. So guys, after completion of 4 chapter, I'm moving on chapter number 5, again having 8 to 10 marks weightage in the examination. So guys, again we're going to use 100% English, so that every person of India should be benefited. And yeah, I forgot to tell you this information now. The pen drive of ES, SM, a full course, 100% English or Hindi English combo, both are available on swapnilpatni.com. So great news. Earlier I used to teach only through virtual classes, but now it's a better opportunity for everybody to grab. It's a better opportunity for everyone to buy this lecture. Now you're sitting anywhere of India, any place of India. You are staying in the remote village where my franchise is also not in existence. You can buy lectures, you can watch it wherever you want it, guys. Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you very much for giving all the appreciation. And please do not forget to comment on my lectures, because your comment is my motivation. Thank you guys so much. So guys, we're moving. This chapter is divided into 3 parts. Number 1, 5 forces of Porter. Number 2, Michael Porter's generic strategy. And number 3, best cost provider strategy. So this chapter is broken down into 3 parts. If you complete these 3 concepts, this chapter is over. So first concept I would like to talk about, the Michael Porter's generic strategy. What is it, guys? This what is the meaning of this? So as per Michael Porter, first of all you have to decide where you want to go for broad or you want to go for narrow. If you want to go for broad or you want to go for narrow, that is to be decided first. Let me just just give me 1 second. So that I want to show you this image directly on the screen itself. Yeah. Okay. So guys, welcome back. So you can check this image. On the basis of this image, you can make sure that you are drawing all the images which is shown in the classroom. See, in the regular class, what happens? I do a lot of, I teach, I take a lot of revision. Every concept which will be taught in taught in detail, and I give a lot of real life case studies. So that is the difference between this lecture. Those lectures are having a lot of details. Now let's check it out, guys. What is the meaning of Michael Porter? Michael Porter generic strategy, you can on the basis of this image you can easily understand. As per Michael Porter, If anybody wants to start business, you should have always two options, whether you want to serve broad category or you want to serve narrow category. Means you want to serve large number of people, you're targeting only specific amount of people. First of all, this is to be understood broad and narrow. For example, Jio, broad, Amazon, broad, you're having Walmart, broad. But there are organizations which are serving to very specific amount of people, like Mercedes, like Rolls Royce, like Tanishq Diamond. You must have seen about this organization, BMW. They are serving to only specific category of customers. For example, you are making medicine only for the diabetic patients. It is again one narrow. So you must have seen a lot of hospitals in your city, serving to catering to all the category of patients. It is called as broad. But there are some hospitals which are having expertise only into eye, and in eye also they are having only specialization of retina division. So it is called as narrow. So before you do any kind of strategy, you have to make sure, you have to first of all understand whether you are serving to broad or you are serving to narrow category of people, right? In the broad also you are having two parts, cost and differentiation, and the narrow also you are having two parts, cost and differentiation. But forget about this narrow and broad. Let us understand what is the difference between cost and differentiation. So whenever you start the organization, after you deciding the broad and narrow, you have to decide whether you want to serve, whether you want to attract people by reducing cost, or you want to attract people by making some changes in the product features. See, if you are having different features and you are attracting people, it is called as differentiation. But if you are reducing cost, you are attracting people, is called as what? Cost. Yeah. Example, you must have seen about all the China phones. Not all, but you understand what I'm talking about. All the local cheap China phones, they are attracting people by reducing cost. But there's an Apple company also. Apple company does not reduce cost; they attract people by doing something different. So Apple is an example of differentiation. China phones are the example of cost. Again, example of I've seen example of Nike shoes. Nike shoes, you must have seen, you must have visited the showroom of Nike. They do not attract people by reducing costs, but they attract people by making some changes in the shoes. The patterns are so different, they attract people, giving some different. You must have seen a lot of restaurants in your city. They're charging so high price, but because the taste which they have, the lovely, the awesome, the yummy product they are providing to the customer, they are attracting people by not reducing the cost, but they are attracting people by giving something extraordinary. A test of the product. It's called as differentiation, guys. So cost, one more example is Jio. Jio is using the blend of both. Jio was having earlier very low price, and Jio, the speed is just awesome. So Jio was using cost as well as differentiation. Even Ramdev Baba, for all the Patanjali product, they have kept very reduced price, and moreover they are the herbal, and there is some desi product. So the product is also different that way, and the price is also cheap. So whenever you are using both the strategies together, obviously you will be getting super extraordinary growth. Okay, so guys, whenever suppose SPC, I think you can understand, SPC does not attracting people by reducing cost, but SPC is having really quality products, and they're attracting people by giving something different. Our notes are the quality of teaching, the teachers which we have, and the network which we get connected to mass. We are really having different. I mean, those who are watching me right now, they can easily understand. The product is not getting sold out because the cost is low. The product is getting sold out because there's something different in the product. The way we revise, the way we summarize the entire course into short amount of time, it's something, the uniqueness of SPC. So what is the cost and differentiation, guys? Let's understand. Royal Enfield differentiation, the product is so different. That's what people do buy the Royal Enfield. I don't have to talk much about Royal Enfield because everybody is aware about it. So Royal Enfield, people are attracted towards it, not by cost, not by reducing cost, but the product is having something different. The look is absolutely different from others. So cost and differentiation, whenever the people are price sensitive, you should go for cost. The people are doesn't worried about price, you should go for differentiation. People are quality oriented, you should go for differentiation. People are quantity oriented, you should go for cost. You are earning high profit per unit, differentiation. Low profit per unit, cost. Cost and differentiation. Apple is differentiation. China phone is again cost. So I'm not saying which one is better, depends on the situation. For example, you're running the business of airline in India, okay, and if you're trying to give a lot of features, different features, and you're keeping very high price of the airline, people will not like to travel in your airline because people do not have that mentality in India. They want flights at very cheap cost. So if you're running business of airline in India and having cost leadership approach, obviously it will be successful. Okay, I hope you understand the difference between cost and differentiation, guys. Okay guys, we're moving on. So we are seeing the cost and differentiation. We have seen focus also. A few examples I would like to give about the focus. I mean the narrow cost and narrow differentiation. Okay, narrow. The Rolls-Royce is narrow, obviously, but do not have a cost approach. Do not have less cost approach. They are having something different, and they're attracting people. So if you want to place Rolls-Royce, so Rolls-Royce is a narrow, obviously narrow and differentiation. Understood? Number two example, if you take an example of what do you call it? There's one brand. Suppose wheelchair. Okay, wheelchair. You are making wheelchair very cheaper cost. Wheelchair again narrow because you are focusing on physically challenged people. You are not making cycle for everyone. You are making for physically challenged people cycle. So your focus is narrow. Okay, and that too you are making manual cycle, so it will be cost, but you are making automatic cycle on remote control. It works. It is called as what? Narrow focus, but it will be differentiation. Okay, so I hope you are understanding the examples, guys. So this is there. So cost is there, difference. I think everything is over. So you understood the concept. This is the Michael Porter. So make sure you are drawing this image in the examination also. Okay, we're moving on to the next concept, guys. Best cost provider strategy. Best cost provider strategy means what? You are attracting people by reducing cost, but there are two ways of reducing cost. Number one, you are actually discounting the price. Example, OYO. The owner is what? Ritesh Agarwal. You must have heard about it. This guy is very young billionaire, youngest billionaire of India. Age is only 27. You must have heard about OYO. So what is that OYO? OYO is not giving you additional something. OYO just reduce the cost to attract. So what is the first concept? You reduce the cost. The best cost strategy is having two approaches. Number one, reduce cost, example OYO. But number two is here you do not reduce cost. You are giving something additional in the same price. For example, sometimes you must have seen extra also. For the water bottle, 300 ml extra, cheap. Suppose you are buying chips, wafers you are buying, you are getting 40% extra. Biscuits, soap, Colgate, you're getting extra in the same price. It is called as what? Same cost with better feature. For example, you're paying for the normal rooms, charges for the normal rooms, but you're getting AC rooms in the same price. So there are two ways of reducing cost. One, actually you are giving discount. Number two, you do not give discount. You're keeping the same price, but you are providing additional features. I hope you understand, guys. Yeah, thank you so much. So moving on the next, guys, the last part of this chapter, Michael Porter's 5 forces. The 5 forces, whenever you start your business, make sure, see, this chapter is all about Michael Porter. Michael Porter's generic strategy. Remember word generic means what? This cost, differentiation, focus, and you have to draw this image also. Okay, which image? You know about this image, right? And this is Michael Porter's the 5 forces. 5 forces. Remember 5 forces. Whenever you want to start your business, you have to think about these 5 forces. Without thinking about these 5 forces, you should never start your business. What are those 5 forces? Michael Porter's 5 forces. Porter Baba Key Race. The memory technique is what? Baba Key Race. Baba means what? Bias, bargaining power. RESS. R for rivals, E for new entrants, S for substitutes, and S for supplies, bargaining power. Okay, once again, guys. Michael Porter's Baba Key Race. Baba means what? Bias, bargaining power. R means what? Rivals. E for new entrants, S for substitute, and S for supplies, bargaining power. So I hope you'll remember. Once again, Porter Baba Key Race. Porter Baba Key Race. Porter Baba Key Race. Baba, bias, bargaining power. R for rivals, E for new entrants, S for supplies, bargaining power, and S for substitutes. So I hope you'll remember these 5 points. But before you move further, you should know the exact meaning of it. Suppose let's take an example of airline industry, and if SPC wants to start the industry of airline, so before SPC start the industry of entering into the industry of airline, SPC should think about these 5 points. Number one, new entrants. What is the meaning of new entrants? Michael Porter says before you enter into any industry, you have to check the pressure of competition, and the pressure of competition based on 5 factors. If the pressure of competition is really high, don't enter into the business. If the pressure of competition is really low, you can enter into the business. Okay, threats of new entrants. What is the meaning of threats of new entrants? See, as long as what airline is concerned, there's a really threat of new entrants. No, not at all. Because new entrants hardly, in last decade, hardly 1 or 2 companies like one AirAsia or Vistara got introduced into the industry of airline. But when you compare this with the CA coaching classes, every year you will find hundreds of CA coaching classes entering into this business. So tell me where you find the more pressure of competition. So obviously CA coaching is having more threat of competition due to the new entrants, because thousands of new entrants are entering into every year, entering into the business every year. But as long as what airline is concerned, you will not find lot of new entrants. So tell me, it is a favorable point or unfavorable point? It is a very much favorable point from the SPC. If SPC starts airline business, it is a favorable point because you will not be facing lot of competition, you will not be facing lot of new entrants competition. Okay, point number 2 now. So first point, it was a favorable point. What is bargaining power of the buyer? See, bargaining power of the buyer is really high, because I'm talking about airline example. See, there's a Vistara, there's Indigo, there's SpiceJet, Air Asia, there's a Air India. Lot of whenever you suppose I'm searching Pune, Delhi, Pune, Mumbai, I'll be getting a lot of flights. So obviously the buyer is having lots of choices. Okay, I'm having a lot of choice. So it means what? The power of buyer is really high. Because it is not like a petrol, it is not like a IRCTC. See, IRCTC, if you take an example of Indian Airlines, IRCTC, for IRCTC's point of view, buyer's bargaining power is zero. It is a positive for him, because buyer does not have any choice to select this airline or that airline. There's only one airline, IRCTC in India. I hope you understand this. But as long as what airline is concerned, if I'm the buyer, I'm having 10, 15 different kind of airlines. I can choose anything, whatever I want. So if SPC is going to start airline business, I think it will be positive or negative. It will be unfavorable, because SPC airline will not have any power. Always there will be high bargaining power with the customers. Customer can choose any one of them. Okay, so we are thinking not from the see, whenever you discuss in the examination, think from the organization point of view, as if SPC or you yourself is starting this business. Do not think from the customer's point of view. If you think from the customer's point of view, there are a lot of airlines, so you will find this is a good factor. I am not talking from your point of view, I am thinking from the business perspective. Okay, what is point number 3? Bargaining power of the supplier. Suppose I am running, SPC is going to start airline business. There are only 2 suppliers of the airlines. Number 1, Boeing. Number 2, Airbus. So these are the 2 companies making airlines all across the world. There are 2 manufacturers of the airline. That's it. Now tell me, guys, if I'm running SPC airline, there are only 2 suppliers. So obviously they will have really high bargaining power, because there are only 2 suppliers, and thousands of airline companies would like to buy aircrafts. So now tell me, guys, it is a favorable point or unfavorable? It is an unfavorable point from the SPC point of view, because they will always bargain as per their because they are having lots of customers like me, so I will not have any leverage on it. Okay, this is unfavorable, this is also unfavorable. Okay, rivalry. Again, rivalry means what? The competition, there's a high level of rivalry, because there are a lot of SPC airlines will have lot of rivals like Air India, Air Asia, Vistara, SpiceJet, Indigo, so don't you think there's a rivalry? So if there's a more rivalry, there's a more competition, so it will be good or bad for me? It will be bad for me. So it is again what? Unfavorable for me. And the last point, guys, threats of substitute. Guys, in India, for airline, there are a lot of substitute, like a road line. People, if you cannot travel from road, if you cannot travel from airline, if you do not want to travel airline, you have got railway option, you have got road option, you have got water option, you can use your own vehicle, you can use private buses also. So don't think you will find lot of substitute for airline. So guys, now tell me, it is good or bad? It is bad for me, because I am going to start airline. People will not be 100% dependent on our airline. If we will charge high price, they may choose some other substitute also. So again, this is unfavorable, because people may have what? Other options also. So out of 5 points, four factors are saying unfavorable, only 1 point is saying favorable. So don't you think this is quite risky? There's a high level of competition, the pressure of competition will be high. There are 4 unfavorable points, only 1 favorable point. So what is your suggestion? I should enter or I should not enter? So I should not enter into the business of airline. That's all, guys. Yeah. So this is how the 5 forces of Porter's are used to decide whether you need to enter or not to enter. But one of my students asked me, sir, tell me any business where you find all the points favorable. I don't think there is any business nowadays available in India where you get all the points favorable. Then what is the use of this Porter's 5 forces? So whenever you want to start any industry, okay, suppose cement industry, petroleum industry, and entertainment industry, whatever industry you want to. So you have to check, you have to compare where you find more favorable points. I'm 100% sure there will not be any industry left in India where you'll get all the points favorable. I know you'll be getting unfavorable points everywhere, but you have to compare and you have to understand where you are getting more favorable points. So any industry giving you more favorable points will be chosen. Okay, so entire chapter, guys, is broken down into three parts. Once again, short revision. Entire chapter is broken down into three parts. Number one, Michael Porter's 5 forces. Then what? Michael Porter's generic strategy. And number three, best cost provider strategy. So best cost is again having two options. You can actually give it the discount and reduce the price. Or number two option, you are having the same price but giving additional features. Michael Porter's generic strategy is broken down into two parts, broad and narrow. And narrow is again divided into two parts, and broad is also divided into two parts. That is what cost and differentiation, cost and differentiation. And guys, tell me about Apple. Apple is differentiation, China phone cost approach, SPC again differentiation, and Nike differentiation. Jio is using both the approaches together. So I hope you understand. What is the difference between narrow and broad? If you're serving to large number of people, it is called as broad. If you're serving to very specific category of customers, it's called as narrow. Like Rolls Royce, Mercedes, BMW, narrow. Amazon, Walmart, Jio, broad. So in the examination, do not forget to draw that image also. Okay, and the last point, what are the 5 forces of Michael Porter? Porter Baba ki, raise Porter Baba ki, raise Porter Baba ki, raise Baba is what? Buyers bargaining power, R for rivals, E for new entrants, S for substitute, and S for what? Suppliers bargaining power. I hope you understood, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video, and please do not forget to comment and like my video, and also share this video with everyone. And one more time I would like to tell you, now if you want to learn everything in depth, if you want to learn the detailed version of such lectures, please go visit swapnilpatil.com and buy the full lectures of English version as well as what Hindi English combo version. Both are available on swapnilpatil.com. Thank you so much, guys, and now we are moving on the next chapter, chapter number 3. I hope you're ready for chapter number 3. Hey guys, welcome back. So we are moving on chapter number 3. So chapter number 3 is broken down into 5 parts: strategy planning, strategy decision making, strategic intent, strategic management model, and strategy stages in strategic management. So these are the 5 points. First point is not that important, but remaining 4 points are actually important, can be asked in the examination. So as you all know, after you complete the first, you have revised English lecture twice, then you are watching this revision lecture. So these lectures are to be seen a lot of times. I think you should download these lectures in your mobile phone. You should watch it on regular basis. The more you watch, the more you will be able to retain. It's all about retention. The theoretical subject is the first of all, you have to understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, it's about retention. You should watch it many times. The more number of times you watch, there will be more retention. Okay. So guys, we're moving on to strategic decision making. What is the meaning of strategic decision making? Whenever organization takes a very, very big decision for the organization, it's called as what? Strategic decision making. Like let's take an example of strategic decision making is what? Mergers, acquisition, launching of new product. Such decisions are called as what? Strategic decision making. For example, Facebook has acquired WhatsApp, $19 billion. Tata has acquired Chorus, $12 billion. Jio was launched in what? 150,000 crores. Such examples are called as what? Strategic decision making. For example, by paying 2,000 crore, Flipkart has acquired Myntra. You must have heard about the acquisition of Sun Pharma and Ranbaxy. So such kind of decisions are called as what? Strategic decision making. Suppose you are taking a decision of what? Buying laptop or hiring number of employees. Such kind of decisions are not called as what? Strategic decision making, because a lot of resources are not involved. They are not very important decision for the organization. If you talk about strategic decision making, if your one decision go wrong, it will really have bad impact on the organization. So you have to be very careful while taking strategic decision making, because large amount of resources are involved. Such decisions are taken by only and only top management of the organization. You really have to think about internal as well as what external of the factors of the organization. For example, Facebook acquiring WhatsApp. So it is not the job of one day. Tata is acquiring Chorus. While doing this, Jio is launched. Such decisions takes a lot of time. Top management's involvement is required. A lot of resources are required. Such decisions are taken not for the short term. It is always taken for the long term, because Jio was launched in year Jio was introduced in 2010, but actually launched in 2017 in India. So don't you think, early they were suffering from losses, now they are making profits. So when you take such decision, Facebook, WhatsApp acquisition, so such decisions are not taken from the short-term point of view, it is always taken from the long-term point of view. It is always future-oriented. You think about future, you have got some vision to achieve something, that's why you do such acquisition, you launch some products. So strategic decision making are always done for the future. You're having future orientation for doing such projects. Okay. So if in the examination they may ask you elements of strategic decision making. There are 6 elements. Number 1, such decisions are taken by the top management. Number 1, it needs large number of resources. Number 3, future oriented, long term. Then number 4, lot of factors are required to be considered. Internal, external factors are required to be considered while taking such decision. And the last point, in case this decision goes wrong, it will really have impact on all the departments of the organization. Only one department will not suffer, entire organization will be shaken, because decision needs really large amount of funds. Okay, so I think you understood strategic decision making elements. Once again, number 1, top management, large number of resources, long term, future oriented. If it goes negative, it will really have impact on the multiple departments will be affected. And I hope you understand the elements of strategic decision making. Okay. So now let's start the next question, guys. Next question of this chapter is one of stages in strategic management. So there are 5 stages of the strategic management. Let's revise these 5 stages. Number 1, strategic management process. What is the first process, guys? What is the first process? Number 1, the vision. Number 2 is what? Analysis of the existing one. Number 3, you make strategy. Number 4, you implement the strategies. And number 5, you evaluate your strategies. So let's revise, guys, one more time. So this is a very, very important question, guys. It is called a strategic management. By mistake, it is written here. It should be process. It is a strategic management process, or in the examination they may also ask strategic management stages. So what is the first point? Strategic management says whenever you take any decision, you should consider 5 factors. Number 1, you should understand where you want to be, where you want to go in the future. What do you want to achieve? Do not make strategies first. First you would think where you want to go. I found people making this mistake. They make strategies without even knowing where they want to go. So first of all, vision. You should know where you want to be in the future. Okay. Example. Let's take an example of Sun Pharma and Ranbaxy example. Sun Pharma wanted to be number 1 in India in the pharma business. So what was the vision? To become number 1 in the pharma company. Number 2, you have to analyze, you have to understand where you are. You have to do the SWOT. You have to understand your existing as well as you have to understand your internal as well as external factors. You have to do SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. You have to understand your existing. You have to understand where you exactly stand right now. So when they have done, so Sun Pharma understood they are right now on the 2nd position of India. So what is the vision? They want to be on number 1. What is the current? They are on the 2nd position in India in the pharma company. What is point number 3? Now you want to bridge the gap between point number 1 and point number 2. You want to be on number 1. Right now you are on number 2. You want to bridge this gap. So you have to make strategies, and point number 3 is you frame some strategies to become number 1. You want to shift from position number 2 to position number 1. It is called a strategy. So strategy is there to fulfill the gap between what you are and what you want to be. Okay. So what is point number 4, guys? Point number 3 is you're making strategy, but point number 4 is about implementation of strategies. So if you do not implement the strategy, what is the use of making strategies? So in point number 3, you make strategies. Point number 4, you implement those strategies. Point number 3, making strategies. Point number 4, implementing those strategies. Okay, and what is point number 5? Point number 5 is about evaluating whether those strategies are able to achieve your vision. If the strategies which we have implemented in point number 4 is not working properly, we have to make changes in the strategy so that we can achieve point number 1. So what is the job of point number 5? Point number 4, already we have done the implementation. In point number 5, we check whatever strategies which we have implemented, are they working properly or not. If they're working properly, no problem. Okay. If they're not working properly, you have to take some corrective measures. Okay. So point number 1, guys, vision. Where you want to be. Sun Pharma wanted to be on number 1. What is point number 2? Where you are. It was on number 2. Then you make strategies. What strategies they have made? They have made a strategy of acquisition of Ranbaxy. Point number 4, they have acquired Ranbaxy. In point number 5, Sun Pharma will check whether they actually achieved rank number 1, and actually in the real life scenario they have achieved rank number 1, and this is how it was a successful strategy. Now they were not able to make they were not required to make any changes in the strategy. So I hope you're understanding strategic management process. Number 1, vision. Number 2, analysis. Number 3, you make strategies. Number 4, you implement. And number 5, to evaluate them. So I hope you're understanding, guys. So 2 questions from this chapter is over. First question was not important. So this is also over, this is over, this is done. Okay, what is the meaning of strategic intent? So intent gets broken down into 5 parts: vision, mission, business model, business definition, and goals objective. Okay. These 2 points are very easy to be understood: business model and business definition. Okay, these 2 points are very easy to be understood. What is the meaning of business model? See, every business has got different model. Even in the same industry has got different businesses, a different organization having different business models. Okay, example, in the telecom industry, Jio is having different business model, Idea, Vodafone is having different business model, as well as what Airtel is also having different business model. What is the meaning of model? Model means what how you offer your product. See, Jio is offering a lot of free things. Price is very low, product quality is really very high. At the same time, if you compare Jio with the Idea, Vodafone, you will find the price is a little higher side. The product quality is also not that much. In the some scenario, you will find Jio is giving SMS free, Jio is giving internet free, whereas the Idea is charging for the internet. So don't you think the 2 different companies offering different products, 2 different companies in the same industry can have different business models? We have taken an example of 5-star hotels. For example, Hyatt. For example, JW Marriott. JW Marriott, if you hire, if you want to organize your marriage in JW Marriott, they will charge you only for the food. They will not take any rental charges of the ballroom. Okay, but as long as the Hyatt is concerned, they will charge you for the ballroom. They will charge you for the garden, and they will keep lesser price for the food. So both are having different business model. So this is the business model. What is the meaning of business definition? Define. First of all, whenever you start the business, you need to define that what kind of customer you are going to serve for. You should know to whom you want to cater. Business definition, you should know, you should have a complete idea that you are going to cater the Aam Janta, or you are going to cater very niche category of people. For example, MI, and for example, Apple phone. So Apple is very much clear that they do not want to serve the normal category of people. They always want to serve a niche category of people. It is called as what their business definition is there to serve niche category of people. But MI is not like that. They do not want to serve only niche. They want to serve the normal category of people. So their business definition is different. So before you start your CA firm, you should know what kind of practice you want to start. You want to provide services to only niche category of people, or you want to serve to every category of people. So it is called as business definition. Okay, target customer you need to decide. What is the difference between goals and objective? Goals and objective means what? Goals are very large, very broad. Objectives are very narrow. Suppose I want to earn profit, goals. I want to increase market share, goals. They are not specific. They are very generic in nature. But as long as the objectives are concerned, they are very narrow, they are very specific, they are time binding, they are measurable. For example, I want to earn profit, goal. I want to earn 20 crores profit in the textile business by the end of 2020. It is called as what? Objectives. So which one is a broader? Goal. Which one? See, objectives are developed to achieve goals. I want to earn profit, but how much profit in how many years, it is not defined. It is called as what? Goals. I want to earn 30 crores profits in the textile business by the end of 2020. It is called as what? Come on guys, it is called as objective. So which one is there? Objectives are always there to achieve goals. So tell me, which one is time binding? Objectives. Which one is specific? Objective. Which one is measurable? Objectives. So goals are the desired end towards which the objectives efforts are motivated, and objectives are always there to achieve the goals. For example, 2020, you're talking about 2019 may you want to achieve this, 2020 may you achieve this, 2021 may you want to achieve. These are what nothing but a small objective. These small objectives are made to achieve your complete goals. Tell me, which one is generic? Goals. Which one is specific? Objective. Which one is measurable? Objective. Which one is time binding? Again, objectives. So remember one example. I want to increase market share goals. I want to increase my market share in the textile area by 30% by the end of 2020. This is objective. So what are the characteristics? What are the characteristics of objectives? It should be smart. It should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time binding. You should always remember these 5 points. In the examination, they may ask you what are the characteristics of objective. So remember, guys, it has to be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time binding. Okay, and moreover, it should be challenging. It should be understandable. It should help you to evaluate yourself. Okay, so remember 8 points: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time binding. It should be understandable. It should be challenging. Yet it should be help you to achieve. It should be able to help you to evaluate whether you could achieve those targets or not. And it should also help you to take decision making. Okay. So these are the characteristics of objectives. Okay. So I think this is over. Objectives and goal part is also over. Now the last part, guys. What is the difference between mission and vision? What is the difference between mission and vision? Vision is something where I want to be. Mission is what we are, what we do. Please understand, let's understand both the concepts together. Vision is what? Where we want to be. Where I want to be is what vision. What is the meaning of mission? What we are, what we do. What we are, what we do. Mission is a present oriented. Vision is a future oriented. Okay. Let's take an example. Vision. Let's take an example of Airtel. Airtel Vision. To be globally admired company of telecom. Vision of Airtel. Walmart, the vision of Amazon. To be the most customer-centric company of the world. Vision. Vision of Flipkart. To be the Amazon of India. Vision of Flipkart. Well, the McD. To be the fastest restaurant in the world. So vision is not about present. Vision is about a future. What you exactly want to do. What do you desire? What is your, where you want to head your organization? This is called as vision. Vision is a future. Vision answers one question: where you want to be. And if you do not have vision for the organization, how can you work, guys? Come on. Just now we have seen, if you want to make any strategies, you should know your vision first. So that is there. Vision is required to be understood first. Okay. Vision is an aspiration of the top management. Vision is also always decided by the top management of the organization, and all the strategies we make in the organization is based on the vision. If you do not know vision, how can you make strategies? And just now, whatever example I've given you about Walmart and Amazon and the Flipkart, make sure you are writing in the examination. Okay. Vision is that. So there are 3 elements of vision. Number 1, first of all, you should know where you want to be. First of all, you should know where you want to be. First of all, you should know where you are. First one, where we are. I'm here. Number 2, you should know where you want to be. And number 3, once you decide that where you want to be, it has to be communicated with your middle and bottom level people. If they do not know about your vision, how you will be able to achieve your vision? So vision, although it is decided by the top level, but it should be understood by the middle as well as what the bottom level. So guys, please remember there are 3 elements of vision. Number one, where we want to be. Where we are. Number 2 is where we want to be, and number 3, you should communicate your vision to your other employees. There are 3 elements. This question is asked in the examination. Number 1, where we are. Number 2, where you want to be, and number 3, it has to be communicated. So vision part is over. Can I ask you the difference between mission and vision? Which one is a present oriented? Mission. Which one answers what we are and what we do? Mission. Which one says what you want to be? Vision. Which one is a present oriented? Mission. Which one is a future oriented? Vision. Which one says what you are, what you do? Mission. Which one says where you want to be? Vision. Which one is a futuristic? Vision. Which one is a present oriented? Mission. Which one is the success? Vision. Which is the key of success? Mission. So before you understand much better about this, let's understand what is mission. Okay. Mission. Let's take an example of mission. YouTube says what? We provide fast and easy video access. Let's understand the mission of Airtel. We provide error-free telecom services. Let's understand the example of Skype. We provide. We are the fabric of real-time communication. It is the mission statement of Skype. So if you analyze all the mission statement, you will understand Whenever somebody is writing mission statement, it is answering two questions: what we are, what we do. We are YouTube. What we do? We providing fast and easy video access. So two things can be understood. It also answers what we are, what we are. We are providing video services. What we do? What we are, what we do. What we are, what we do. What we are, what. So what we do is we are providing video. How do we do it? We are providing error-free. We are providing fast and easy video access. So, example. It should not answer so. It should not answer only what we are. It should also answer what we do. What we are the telecom services, and what we do, we are providing error-free telecom services. So on the basis of this Airtel example, you can understand very easily. We are providing error-free telecom services. Means it is saying what we are into telecom. So what we do, we are into telecom service. We are into telecom service, and what we do, we are providing fast and we are providing what, error-free telecom services. Okay. So mission statement. So why mission statements are made? Mission statements are made to attract your customers. Mission statements show your potential. It is showing your potential that you are providing fast and easy video access. See, every person cannot come to the organization, cannot ask that how they do work. On the basis of mission statement, any person can understand what kind of organization we are. It says the way we work. It is not fake statement. It is very simple. It is very easy to understand. It is not fake. It is very easy to understand. It is very simple. It is realistic. It should not be vague. It should be understandable. It should be small. It should not be big, 10 lines. It should be 1 or 2 lines maximum. So this is mission statement. Mission statement is the reason of your existence. That why do you live? Why do you exist? Why people should come to you? It is the reason of your existence. See, you have not joined my classes because of my high quality vision. You have joined my classes for my mission. SPC Swapnil Patni sir teaches with the help of real life examples, practical examples, where he takes a lot of revisions, where he also provides colorful notes and charts for the revision. This is nothing but my mission. It is not my vision. You see, any customer is getting attracted towards the organization not because of the vision, they attracted because of the mission. So tell me, which one is there to help what? Mission से vision achieve करेंगे या vision से mission? You achieve your vision because of the mission. See, I can be a #1 India faculty only if I am having mission. I do not achieve mission because of the vision, but I achieve the vision because of the mission, right? If I will teach like this, I can achieve the dreams. Okay, I hope you're understanding, guys. So there's a difference between mission and vision. Tell me, vision is a present oriented, mission. Which one is the future oriented? Vision. Which one says what we want to be? Vision. Which one says what we are? What do we do? Mission. Tell me, mission say you can achieve vision, or vision say you can achieve mission. With the help of mission, you can achieve vision. Now tell me, which one is a success? Vision is a success. Which one is the key of success? Mission is the key of success. I hope you understand this also. And then last question, guys. Why you should have a mission in the organization? Why mission is required? So there's an answer for this question. Why mission is important? Let's understand. So guys, if I do not have mission, how my employee can understand what kind of organization we are? So if I write my mission that I am in Airtel, I am writing that we are providing error-free services. It means what? It becomes a standard that we are providing error-free. It will create unanimity. Every person will accept this and every person will follow this. It will create a general tone in the organization. Everybody will follow this. See, some branches are working like that, some branches are working like this. It should not be called as an organization. If you are having mission statement, everybody will follow the same, that we are providing error-free service. Means everybody has to provide error-free services. Okay, everybody has to provide error-free services. Okay, see, understand one thing. So if there's a mission statement, means everybody is required to follow it. It means what? It creates a general tone. It is creating unanimity, and moreover, it is a standard in the organization. And the most important part is what? When you have mission statement, you are creating motivation in the organization. Everybody will die to work like that. Everybody will have to follow this. So there's a motivation to work harder. So guys, we were discussing about why organization should have a mission. Number one, It will create unanimity. Number two, it will create standard general tone. And the last important point is what? It is a motivation. It will create motivation to work hard in the organization. Okay. So the next question is, while writing mission statement, what factors are required to be considered? Always make sure it is not copy paste. It should be your unique identity. It should be your unique feature. Mission statement किसी से copy नहीं किया जाता. It is not taken. You cannot copy from somebody because the way you work, it will be always special. The way you work, nobody can copy easily. It should be your unique, special identity. So make sure that it is unique. It should be a special identity, and moreover, while doing this, make sure it is what customer oriented. Whenever you write the mission statement, it has to be customer oriented, because the missions, who is going to be the reader of the mission statement? The customer. So in mission statement should specify that you are serving what category of people. Like example, I am Airtel, I am providing error-free service. It means the people who are interested to get error-free service should come to me. We provide easy and fast video access. YouTube says it means people who would like to see YouTube, who would like to see fast and easy video access, should access YouTube. It means what? There are three factors important while writing mission statement. Number one, it should be unique. It should not be copy paste. It should be a special identity. Number three, it should be customer oriented. And number four, activities. It should also describe the activities of what kind of technology you're using. It should also talk about, it should also discuss about activity, technology, the processes to be followed. These things are also written, are also covered in the mission. Like what? I'll repeat. Technology, your competencies, your activity also should be covered. So let's take an example of YouTube. YouTube says we are providing fast and easy video access. It means the technology is as such. They are providing fast and easy video access. It means activity. What kind of activity? They are providing fast video access is what activity, and they are so competent enough. That's why they are providing fast and easy video access. Means what? The mission statement should define activities, competencies, and the technology. So I'll repeat one more time. Why mission is required, or factors to be considered while writing mission statement. Number one, unique, special features, special identity. It should also cover what kind of customer you're serving, and the last point, it should also cover the activities, technology, and competency. So let's recall one more time, the short revision one more time, last 1 minute for this chapter. Then the chapter revision of this chapter is over. This chapter is mainly broken down. Okay, one thing is left from this chapter: strategic management model. What is the meaning of model, guys? Model is very simple to be understood. Model is very simple to be understood. What is the meaning of model? See, model and strategic management process, what is the difference? Strategic management process, this is there, and this is model. Process is a theory oriented, model is a practical oriented, which is widely accepted and comprehensive in the nature. Okay, actually there is no difference between a strategic management process and model. Process is a theoretical, and the way it is implemented in the real life is changed some. They have made some changes in the process. Okay, this made some small changes. So if in the examination while reading yourself you want to know that what is the difference, why. So if you read the maximum points of the model, and the process will remain simple, there are some small changes, but why model is a separate question altogether. It is a practical, it is what, widely accepted and comprehensive. It is a clear and practical approach of formulating, implementing, and evaluating strategies. These are the two things. In case they ask you in the examination, it should say there is no much difference between strategic management process and the model. Most of the points are same. There are some slightly change made. The way it is practically implemented is a model. The way it is theoretically understood is a process. And it's really widely accepted and comprehensive and realistic. What is model? Is the way it is practically implemented and widely accepted. I hope you are understanding this question also. Okay, so let's revise, guys. Let's revise all the concepts once again. A short revision. Stages of strategic management process. Number one, you make vision. You decide where you want to be. Number two, you decide where you are. You do the analysis of the existing order. You do the SWOT. Number three, you want to be there. You are here. You have to bridge the gap between point number 2 and 1. That is what the strategy. You make strategies. Number 4. Then you implement those strategies. And number 5, you evaluate those strategies. and if you are not able to achieve the desired objective, you will take some corrective action in point number 5. So number 1, vision. Number 2, analysis of the organization. Number 3, you're making strategies. Number 4, you are implementing those strategies. Number 5, you evaluate. Next question, guys. Strategic decision making means what? Very big decision, like Tata acquires Chorus, Facebook, WhatsApp, Jio, 1,50,000 crores investment. There are 6 elements of strategic decision making. Such decisions are taken by top level, long term, future oriented. Lot of resources are required. You have to think about internal and external information a lot. Internal, external informations are considered. And number 6, in case it goes wrong, it will really have bad impact on the organization. What is the difference between model and the process? Model is more realistic. The way the processes are implemented practically, it is called as model. Actually, there is no difference between the process and model, but model is widely accepted, more comprehensive, and the way it is practically implemented. So the way the strategies are made, implemented, evaluated practically, it is called as what? Model. What is the difference between goals and objectives? Which one is a broader? Goals. Which one is what? Narrow? Objectives. I want to earn profit. Goals. I want to earn 30 crores profit in the textile business by year 2020 is called as objective. Which one is specific, measurable? Objective. Which is a broader goal? Which one is generic? Goal. Objectives are made to achieve goals. Okay, understood this? Okay, now what are the characteristics of objectives? It should be smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time binding. It should be challenging, it should be understandable also, and it should be helpful for evaluating yourself. Mission, guys. Now it's time to understand about intent. In intent there are 5 concepts: goals, objectives, mission, vision, business definition, and what? Business model. What is the meaning of business model? In different businesses of the same industry also can have a different business model. Example, Hyatt is having different business model. JW is also having different business model. Business definition of Apple and business definition of MI will be totally different. One is targeting to the niche category of customer, and one is targeting to all the category of customers. And what is the difference between vision and mission? It one says what we want to be, vision. It says what we are, what we do, mission. It is the success, vision. It is the key of success, mission. There's one more difference. It is a future oriented vision. It is a present oriented mission. With the help of mission you can achieve vision. Which one says what we are, what we do, mission. It one says what we want to be, vision. There are 3 elements of vision. Number 1, it is where we are, number 1. Number 2, where we want to be, and number 3, you communicate them. And mission, while writing mission statement, 4 factors are required to be considered. Number 1, it should be unique, it should be a special identity, it should always written from the point of view of customer, and it should also talk about your competency, technology, and it should also talk about the competency, technology, and the activities. And why missions are required to be written? Because it creates unanimity in the organization. It is creating standard. It is creating general tone in the organization, and moreover, it is a motivation for the organization. I hope you understood the mission also. So this chapter is over, guys, and please do not forget to comment this lecture. And one more time, I would like to tell you this: that now the complete full course lectures are available in pen drive. You can buy from swapnilpatnaik.com. The full lectures of English and the English-Hindi combination both are available on swapnilpatnaik.com. Thank you so much, guys, and please share this video as much as you can, because let everybody get benefited. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye bye.